Wouldn't we all know?
You're going to. You're going to. I'm just going to try to do a more formal lesson in
What
it.
English?
Fully.
Miss
Okay.
LeBreton, what about us who can't spell rhetoric? Because we're spelling is horrible.
Then what we're going to do is we're doing a PowerPoint right now. We're creating the PowerPoint as we speak. So it'll be up here.
Okay.
Okay? Does that sound good?
Yep.
Okay.
Don't misspell words, Sedona. That'll be awkward.
Just correct them, just like we do, just like I do. Right? Because I don't always get them right the first time.
Socrates.
Okay.
Socrates.
Okay. How many
Mom's a
of
cool
you
pencil.
know what rhetoric is? Let's go to the first slide. Okay. How many of you know what rhetoric is?
Is that like rhetorical?
Yes. Good. Do you know what rhetorical is?
Where you don't respond to it?
You don't expect an answer.
Well, you know what?
Dude.
That's what you do with it, but that's not what it is. Yes. Hold on,
If,
hold on.
if I had to define rhetoric, because I honestly don't know the definition
Mhm.
by the book, I would just say it's the tools used to progress a point in a conversation or to make a point in a conversation, something along those lines.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
To get your point across.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Okay. Now, if you're going to film this, wouldn't it be nice to film the person asking the question too?
Maybe.
When it creates, because I love this.
Do you want to do that again?
No.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll do that from now on.
Okay. Sounds good. Do you want to come up? I'll tell you what. Why don't you come and sit right here?
Like, I think I need to, like, I don't know, because I can't see everybody. Sorry.
Can you zoom in on that?
No, you can't.
That's what I was afraid of.
Yeah, you can.
No, well,
But
not when you're doing a video.
Oh, yeah, I'll never think.
You
Yeah.
can't?
You can on pictures, not on videos.
You can like zoom
Okay,
in, like,
then you're going to be like the.
I have to move to
You're
zoom.
going to be like the grip, the grip, and when someone is talking, you're going to.
Move.
You're the dolly.
We'll just have
And
to
then
do like
you
a pause.
Back. Woo!
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Awesome.
Oh, don't you love technology? Aren't we so up to date? Okay. So, rhetoric. What is rhetoric? Well, if we think about rhetoric, and we think about the fact that it's how we communicate, it really is how we communicate. But what you need to know, it really, the art of rhetoric is the way that we use to persuade people. It's all available means of persuasion. Okay, go to that slide. Now here are the 3 identified types of persuasion that I know you've heard of, and it's going to be our focus of today because we're going to go through it one at a time. Okay? Logos. L-O-G-O-S. Okay. Ethos. E-T-H-O-S. And pathos. P-A-T-H-O-S. How many of you have heard of those? Do you know what they are?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You have an idea what they are? Okay. Because we've talked about them off and on, not in here, but I mean in the English department. You're told a lot about these. But a lot of times what you're told about are the modern forms of persuasion. Bandwagon, what's that?
Is that pathos? Or
What is it?
is it pathos?
Well, you don't have to try to identify the classic form. Just tell me what bandwagon is.
Oh, it's like where they make you, like, they'll use celebrities and stuff to try to make you, like, everyone's doing it, you gotta do it too.
Perfect. That's what bandwagon is. It comes from a really, really, really old thing back in 100 years ago when the parade would come in through town, and if you wanted to jump on the back of the wagon, you could go through the streets and join everybody. That's where it came from. That's where the phrase came from. So that's one modern type a rhetorical device. What about, let me think of some more. Peer pressure. Peer pressure. You don't have to analyze it. Y'all are being really good, though, to analyze it. Peer pressure. What is it?
It's your peers pressure you
Okay.
that they're doing.
Very good. And just speak it up next time.
Okay.
Okay. Y'all, there are some really, really, really scary things going on with peer pressure in America today. How many of you have been watching the news? Most of you are watching a little bit, right?
Just a little.
Okay. And I want you to do it. I want you to be able to do it so you can relate to concepts we learn in class to the real world. It's making everything we do relevant. Like, why do we learn it? Okay? Emily, why do we learn it? And this is why I'll never be able to do it in one take. Emily. Emily. Yeah, you're going to have to vote.
She knocked out.
Emily.
Yeah.
We're typing this.
Hmm?
I need you to sit up and listen. We're typing this. Okay. We'll edit it out. Okay. Peer pressure and news. I do want everyone to hear this. There was a 13-year-old girl
Oh, I heard about this.
who went to the top of like a water tower and jumped off because she was pestered by about a dozen girls from school. And there was one really mean older girl who was leading the pack. And now we finally know why. She was so-called dating her ex-boyfriend. So she got all these other girls that were her age, and including a girl that used to be her best friend, to pester her and send her over and over messages.
Yeah.
And you think,
One
yeah,
of the messages they
go ahead.
said,
Yeah.
one of the messages that they sent her, it was like, why don't you just go ahead and drink bleach and kill yourself and all this stuff. It's like really bad.
Yeah.
It was sad.
So the young girl that sent that message has just been charged. They do not think she'll ever actually do hard jail time because the charge is, some sort of stalking. I can't remember exactly what the charge is. Y'all, cyberbullying is something that is so new to the legal system that we really don't have laws on the books to punish the people that are the worst offenders. Yes, Ron?
It's a very philosophical thing to punish too. It's hard to classify it. I mean, whenever you're if you're outside, you have your rights to your opinion, and people have rights to say things, but they're not allowed to abuse your rights at the same time.
Exactly.
On the internet, though, it's hard to draw a line of where you are and where the next person is,
Mhm.
and that's the issue.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So the one thing you need to know that we can talk about this at another time, the impact of cyberbullying. We can do this later when we're going to be starting to talk about Rachel's Challenge and all those other things and random acts of kindness, because I do want us to talk about that, but I don't want to rush through this, okay? But what I want you to know about this today is the impact of peer pressure. And peer pressure is the perfect example of one of the classic forms of persuasion, okay? Now, there are many other things that we call classic persuasion, okay? Modern persuasion. But classic persuasion is narrowed down into those three categories that we spoke about. So now, I'm going to give you a history lesson of how the three classic forms of persuasion were analyzed and came into our modern lexicon. Okay. Lexicon is terminology or vocabulary. Okay. So, how many of you know who Socrates is? Good. Do you know his story?
I think I kind of do. I could get him mixed up with another Greek philosopher, but wasn't he the one who taught some of the greatest philosophers in history? And didn't he teach Alexander the Great?
Yes.
Yes. And then he got killed or something like that for
Well-
his opinion.
Well, let's put it this way. Go ahead and stop the video.